Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aaron X. Welcome back to the Sporting Plug. It's time to preview and predict week 8 of the Premier League. And joining me, of course, is the magnificently voluptuous, delectable, and desirable delinquent of Dorset that is Roger Sears. You like that, shit, pal? I just made that up. I'm well happy with that. I'm so
good. Quality.
So good at the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hand it over to me and it all falls apart.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, no, if Tanvi was here, maybe. Like, but yeah. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there's quite a few games on tap. By the way, Roger Sears happy with your performance last weekend as a big Arsenal fan, dispatching Bournemouth in record time before losing to Lens.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, we made it rather easy work of them. Better than I thought it was going to be.
Just like you made easy work of RC Lens, right?
Yeah. And then somewhat disappointed with that sudden bump back down to earth.
I watched that and I was just like, what the fuck are you lot doing?
It was poor. It was very poor.
It was really bad. Yeah, no, it wasn't great, to be honest. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't got my green screen up at the moment because I took it down to use it for photography. So you have to deal with this shit. But yeah, right. Premier League is on tap. Roger Sears, are you ready to predict the Premier League? All right, it's Rapey McRaperton time because Tottenham are away to Luton. I'm going to say 5-0.
For some reason, I think Luton put up a little bit more of a fight. I'm going 3-0, but it's going to be comfortable, isn't it? Either way.
They're in cruise control, looking dangerous, very, very well equipped. Told you they'd fucking give Arsenal fits, didn't I? And they were.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Compared to Arsenal, I thought Arsenal overall were a better team in that game, and that's a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, no, little bit of controversy, obviously, with Spurs as well, and what happened at Liverpool, isn't there? With the video, which we'll probably do a separate video on because it is getting fucking ridiculous now.
It is.
Yeah, Spurs in cruise control, but this has got banana skin all over it. Burnley at home to Chelsea. Burnley finally got their first win, didn't they?
Yeah.
Playing very good football.
Oh, you know what? There's a
on the cards.
Sorry?
It's an upset on the cards, despite the fact that Chelsea finally woke up a little bit against Fulham.
It's weird. There's a few games which I found really difficult to call this weekend. And this happens to be one of them, because whereas Chelsea have been so poor lately, you'd expect probably Burnley might do something, but then Burnley haven't looked great. I know they're starting to find their feet. For some reason, I just see this being Chelsea's day. I think it's going to be 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I must admit, Chelsea, I don't think they were overly convincing against Fulham. I think Fulham were the architects of their own downfall. Tim Ream, by the way, you fucking penis burger. Idiot. Yeah, there's just Fulham look utterly Fulham are the only team other than Chelsea who struggle to score goals as badly as they do. They Jimenez is trash.
Yeah,
trash. We were talking about potentially doing the best and worst signings in the Premier League era. Now, by the end of this season, I reckon Jimenez will be one of the biggest flops that probably Fulham have ever had. And this is a team that was able to find players like Mitrovic and Louis Saha, and Jimenez is on the other end of that spectrum. I'm going to say 1-1. I think Burnley play good football. They're a little bit more confident, and Chelsea just can't find the back of the net. Mudryk scored, nice goal on Monday night against Fulham, but I want to see more of a sample size than him just scoring against, a terrible defence in Fulham. As much as I like Fulham, they're not great. They're not great at all, actually. They're going to struggle, I think, at the back end of the season. So I'm going to say 1-1. Everton at home to Bournemouth. Good God almighty. Pick that one out. Bearing in mind, we thought Everton were cooking, didn't we? And then Luton rock up at their gaff and beat them 2-1. And we're right back to being like, you're a pile of shit.
I don't see things getting too much better for them. I'm going 1-0 Bournemouth.
I think Bournemouth play decent enough. They got tonked by Arsenal a little bit, but the problem is creating chances. I reckon 2-2. Bournemouth don't seem to be they don't have a killer instinct for games. Mm-hmm. Everton, that must have been an anomaly at Brentford, or Brentford just
Yeah,
fucking bent
yeah,
over it.
yeah.
Brentford just didn't turn up, obviously, because you can't then lose to Luton at home.
No.
We said, didn't we? If they batter Luton, all of a sudden we're looking at an entirely revitalised team. No, we're not. You lost to Luton. That's embarrassing. By the way, you might cost me, my fucking big prediction that Luton will go down with a reckon amount of points. You idiots. You have to ruin my good time. I don't even give a shit about Everton and they're still ruining my good time. Wankers. Wankers, the lot of you. Yeah, I look at this and I think, 2-2. It just looks like two teams that are struggling to get results they need. Speaking of struggling to get results we need, and no doubt will be the last match on Match of the Day on Saturday, is Fulham versus Sheffield United. I love Fulham and I want Fulham to do well. Sheffield United lost 8-0 to fucking Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. So and then they lost 2-0 to West Ham. Admittedly, West Ham are a good side. West Ham are very, very comfortable, going to be a good outfit this season, but I've got 0-0.
I've been a little bit more optimistic than that. I've gone 1-0 Fulham.
You whites! For the sake of my family, I hope Fulham win, but I fancy a 0-0. This has got boring, turgid written all over it.
Yeah.
Speaking of turgid, Man United are playing at home this weekend. By the way, like some of their fans are insufferable little pricks, aren't they? The most plastic wankers you could ever imagine. No, not all of them. There's some good ones.
No,
but as Jason Manford once said, Man United fans are like rats. You're only 3 meters away from one of the fuckers. Man United are at home to Brentford, who, do Brentford have it all to do? I mean, Brentford have the skills. They have the ability to beat United. We've seen what other teams can do. But then Brentford also went to Nottingham Forest and played out a 1-1 draw, which, by the way, we absolutely called as a draw, I'm pretty sure. That had turgid written all over it. So, do Brentford get something at Old Trafford?
I think they do, actually.
Really?
Man United are just look like they're in free fall right now. And
very amusing.
Brentford's strength is in counter-attacking teams. And I think with it being at Old Trafford, Man United are going to feel this pressure to actually go for it. And I think Brentford will pick them off. I actually think it's going to be 3-1 Brentford.
Wow. I'll say put some money on that. You'll get a fucking nice return. I think it's a draw. I think Brentford away from home are a bit iffy. I don't like them as away. At home, I would have fancied them definitely. United, though, what the fuck? You lost to Palace last weekend, a team that is notoriously limp up front. Mind blowing that we're talking about this. But I think a draw. United are shit, and I have to say, it's delicious. It's absolutely my palate of arousal is absolutely apoplectic right now. I'm so excited. Seeing United in 3-4 losing to teams like Palace. Smug mode engaged. Speaking of, this isn't quite as smug, but Crystal Palace are at home to Nottingham Forest, and for some reason the game that Sky Sports chose to televise.
God only knows why. I can't see it being all that entertaining.
I'm working anyway. Do you know what? It's really funny. Sometimes, because I work all weekends, I'm very busy on weekends, with shows and stuff. And I think, it's a bit disappointing that I don't get to watch it. And then I see someone like this on TV, and I think, oh, good. I'm glad I'm in Warwick watching big men in spandex, because that's far more interesting than watching Crystal Palace versus Nottingham Forest. No, thank you. 1-1 draw, mate.
I've gone 2-1 Palace.
I mean, Palace riding that win, which is exactly why I think it's going to be a draw, because with a game like United, Palace have the ability to just go for them because there's no fear. With Forest, on the other hand, they'll make it cagey, they'll make it gritty, they'll make it dirty, and it'll just play into both teams' hands. Really, they like a ball. And I fancy this is going to be the weekend of ball draws. I really believe that. And I think this one is going to be as well. I'm going to say 1-1 again. Meh. Moving on to Sunday. Things get a little bit more sprightly. The early kickoffs. Got 3 2:00 kickoffs, starting with Brighton and Hove Albion versus Liverpool.
I think I changed my mind about 7 or 8 times on this one, and I'm still going, I haven't got a clue. I'm gonna rest my hat on a 3-2 Liverpool win, but I can, honest to God, I can see it going either way. Really,
I mean, Liverpool.
I know Brighton got a spanking last weekend. I feel that was more
6-1.
of an anomaly.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I don't know. I feel it might have been an anomaly.
Is it like a good Tyrone Tyler Roberts big boot? It's an anomaly.
Yeah.
See that? See that? That's a double whammy because he supports Villa. You like that, Jeff?
Yeah. Oh, he enjoyed giving me stick about that at the weekend as well, because I called him to Villa to lose 3-2. So he really enjoyed that at the
I
weekend.
can't even remember. I think I said that fucking Villa would batter him. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to go back. I don't remember my own predictions, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I probably said Villa to win. So yeah, he's very happy. To be fair, Villa seem to have found their their feet. And they got an interesting matchup as well. But Liverpool must be hypercharged after what happened at Spurs. Absolute highway robbery.
Yeah.
They should, it wasn't offside. Diaz. It's fucking ludicrous. They got it wrong as well. They released the audio, didn't they? And he got it wrong.
Yeah.
Which makes it where he's like, shit. It's like, yeah, shit is right, you dickhead. This can't afford. That's why we brought VAR in, to avoid human error, not so humans could. This is so retarded. It's like, we've created the perfect AI, but what we'll do is we'll have it remote controlled by Barry, who works down a local spa. Fucking useless. Fuck off. Useless idiots. Do Liverpool feel sorry for themselves, or do they come out all guns blazing, fucking raging at what happened last weekend? In which case, Brighton might be in trouble a bit after getting a shit kicking last weekend.
No, I'm still going 3-2 Liverpool is my prediction for that.
Yeah. Should be a very good game to watch.
Yeah.
Should be a very, very good. In fact, Sunday's games look much better than Saturday's, as we said.
Yeah.
I 2-2. I think 2-2. Brighton need to steady. You can't ship 6 goals like that. That's not good. Especially if you're a shit team, fine. You're going to ship goals. Like, look at insert Sheffield United, lol. But with these teams like Brighton are a European contender. You cannot afford to be losing 6-1. It's bad for morale. It's bad for the team's confidence. So I'd be interested to see how they react. And also Liverpool coming off an equally devastating loss, not in terms of goals, but in the way it happened. They were essentially stuffed by the league itself. So both teams have different morale issues going into this game, and that's why I fancy a draw 2-2. I think should be a good game of football, though, at least. A lot of what Liverpool do in this season hinges on how well Salah plays. Personally, still think they should have sold him and gone after someone like Mbappe, but it is what it is. Speaking of, Mbappe having a little sulk, obviously, I don't think he played, did he, last night? But Newcastle, very, very happy, coming off the back of an absolute trouncing of PSG, 4-1 at home. I enjoyed it because PSG are a bunch of money-grabbing cunts. That being said, so are Newcastle. They run by the Saudi, so let's not act like they're fucking squeaky clean. But the thing is, they haven't wound me up nearly as much as PSG have over the years, and they do play good football, unlike PSG, who just dive around like a bunch of fannies. So good for you. However, Newcastle on the road this weekend at West Ham. This should be quite a laugh. West Ham at home to Newcastle should be once again another enthralling encounter.
Yeah, it should be entertaining, shouldn't it? West Ham are playing well at the moment. I just think on the back of recent results, Newcastle are just going to be too much. They'll only edge it, in my opinion. But they're going to take the points for me. 2-1 Newcastle. West Ham will give them a fight.
Newcastle starting kicking again now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The league wins starting to come through again after that little patchy run, and a 4-1 win are going to be hyper. But at the same time, it can work against them, can't it? Too much adrenaline, feeling too good about yourself. West Ham very quietly doing business, all in all. I believe they're playing in the Europa League tonight as well, so that should be interesting. I'm not entirely sure if they're playing right now. I'll have a look at the... No, Brighton drew 2-2 with Marseille, so whatever that's worth. But yeah, West Ham riding high, doing well, without setting the world alight. If you notice that, they're very quiet in the background. A lot of what they're doing is kind of very casual. They're not making too much of a scene. I quite fancy it.
Didn't they, in the summer?
That's what, sorry, mate?
They spent wisely in the summer.
I still think, for me, the best bit of business in the Premier League is James Ward-Prowse for 30. I think that's ludicrous. I cannot believe nobody else went after him. West Ham got themselves an absolute bargain there. Even teams like Arsenal should have been going after James
Oh,
Ward-Prowse.
yeah, definitely.
One of the two best dead ball specialists in the world. Ludicrous. You cannot allow him to just stroll into West Ham unchallenged like that if you're a big team. I think that's crazy. Says a lot about the lack of awareness, I think, in the transfer market, because I think people just assume he's a good free kick taker, and that's it. That's not the case. Actually, a very good, very well-rounded footballer. I think West Ham get something. Oh, yeah, West Ham beat Freiburg away tonight. So, again, one of the more dangerous teams, shall we say, in Europa League. So the fact that they've sort of dispatched them away, proven themselves, I think West Ham get something in. I fancy a 2-1 win for West Ham as an upset. I think Newcastle are going to be too giddy, feeling themselves after last night, and they're going to get in trouble. Now then, boys, this not. So Wolverhampton Wanderers decided we're just going to completely bust everyone's accumulator last weekend and beat Manchester City, which, by the way, delicious. Seeing Man City have a cry is extremely amusing to me. I honestly was violently erect during the whole thing. I honestly thought, oh, that's gonna be a battery. I'm not watching it. And then you turn up at the fucking wrestling thing and you're like, oh yeah, Wolves won. What? I'm watching that, and I watched the highlights back just so I could power wank. It's like watching my, dose of porn at 2 a.m. Marvelous stuff. Aston Villa, on the other hand, obviously on the other end of the foot, they also had quite the outing, smashing up Brighton 6-1. So obviously this has got 0-0 written all over it, right?
Yeah, probably most boring game of the entire weekend.
Yeah, 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1. I reckon there's still a goal or two in it, but I think they're just going to piss us all off. 6-1. The other team beat Man City, the best team in Europe. Yeah, they'll definitely get a draw. It's got a draw written all over it, so I'm going to say draw. Either that or Wolves just won't turn up, go back to being normal, and get raped 7-0.
I'm backing Villa to win 2-0.
Yeah,
I think it was a freak occurrence, Wolves beating Man City. Yes, they've looked reasonably all right in patches, but I just no. For me, I still think they're one of the worst sides in the division. But who knows? I mean, we've seen some weird bloody results so far this season, haven't we?
We've beating Man City. A lot of it comes down to getting the luck. But do you think maybe they've provided a blueprint for other teams to beat Man City?
Yeah, possibly.
It's going to be very
Found a weakness.
Because how is your bumhole for this weekend, Roger says?
Yeah, well,
and there's no excuse because you use my Now TV, fucker, so you can watch it live for yourself, can't you? If you're not, if you're not training, are you training this weekend?
No, I'm not training.
I was going to say fuck that off because Arsenal are at home to Manchester City.
Yeah,
Sunday afternoon. 4:30. I reckon there's going to be tears here. I really do. Arsenal at home to Man City. Roger says, do you fancy your boys in the biggest game they'll probably have this season? Other than, of course, the away leg.
I mean, there are some factors to it. I mean, is Saka going to be fit? Because he went off against Lens, didn't he? Is it a bad one, or is he going to be fit in time for it?
By the way, Ray, not a particularly fantastic performance against Lens. So Ramsdale comes in against City.
Yeah, I vouch for that as well. Without Saka, we might be in a bit of trouble because he's clearly our key man. I'm gonna be very brave, and I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal. But I can't see Man City losing another one myself. Not after they lost 2 on the spin. I can't see it, but
they're not losing back-to-back league games.
This is my heart rule in my head going with this one. So
Man City are going to thumb you, I reckon. I reckon they're going to batter you. I reckon it's going to be 4-1. I think Man City are going to finger them. I don't see. Do you know what? I saw enough against Lens, and I saw enough against Spurs and Fulham to suggest that there is way too much weakness in this side. One thing that really amused me was Arsenal fans after the Lens game saying, well, Declan Rice had an absolute barn burner. I was like, well, apparently not, because you just lost to a bunch of fucking... Like, don't get me wrong, the atmosphere was incredible. Lens fans were fucking... It was like a block wall of yellow and red and orange. Like, it was pretty cool. But, yeah, for me, I think Arsenal look very susceptible, and Man City, with a stick up their ass, infuriated by losing the Wolves, are going to take it out on you. Yeah, and they're ruthless as well. Absolutely ruthless. That's an anomaly, that Wolves game. Man City to win 4-1. And officially bury your title chances before they even begin. Yeah. Good luck in the FA Cup time. By the way, how do you feel about the fact that Lincoln City, if they had beaten West Ham in the League Cup, would have hosted Arsenal at home in the 4th round?
Wow, that would have been something, wouldn't it?
We would have had our revenge for the FA Cup 5 years ago, when we were cruelly beaten in an absolute nail biter 5-0 at the Emirates. Yeah, we're in the conference, so it says a lot more about you that you were picking on us, really. Bullies, or all you lot are. Bullies. Yeah. That was what a day out that was. 9,000 Lincoln fans in the Emirates. Brilliant. Yeah, good shit. Good shit. Terrible atmosphere for the Arsenal fans, but why should I expect anything less from a bunch of librarians? Is what it is. Away fans, different story. Amazing fans. Home fans, dreadful. That being said, the Emirates is getting louder. I have noticed that. It's getting a lot better. It's going to have to be fucking loud. It's going to have to be raucous. They're going to need every bit of that 12th man to get
my God, yes.
Yeah, they need to be hostile. Do you know what? I'm not against throwing flares, coins, the whole lot of Man City players. Fuck it. Make it like Beirut. That's your best chance. Turn it into Beirut. Let all the fucking local Turkish immigrants and their flares in, and let's just have at it. Start lobbing flares at Haaland. Declan Rice needs to get his cock out and try and stick it in his bum. Whatever it takes, honestly. Whatever it takes. If you have to literally shithouse your way to a result, do it. Because as much as I think Man City are going to think you, I don't want to see Man City win. Absolutely not. I want Arsenal to win, but I just don't see it happening. I think the quality, the disparity in quality is going to show in this game, especially if Saka's not fit to play. If he's very much iffy, I wouldn't bother playing him. I'd just rest him and take the hit. Not worth it. Because if you put him out there and he fucking blows himself out,
yeah,
well, you're fucked, man. You're absolutely fucked. So, also, Lens, do you think they should have fucking rested a lot more of their players than they did?
Given the result, yeah.
Hindsight's a beautiful thing in that regard, isn't it? But yeah, that pretty much sums up the Premier League for weekend 8. Some interesting ties, it has to be said. Nothing on the Monday, thank God, unless you want to watch Burton Albion at home to Cambridge United. Congratulations. I fancy Cambridge to get a 1-0 upset there. By the way, thanks. Like all these League One ties, Lincoln never on TV ever. Like Burton Albion versus Cambridge is on TV, but West Ham and Lincoln couldn't get on TV, and we almost done them as well. We were a better side. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. That's the league for you. However, from myself and Roger Sears, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave your predictions below in the comments, and we'll be chatting to you very soon with a lot more content about our glorious sport of football very soon to come here at the Sporting Plug.